Let us look at RPA use cases. RPAs can be used in multiple functions in a company. It can be procurement or accounting or finance controlling, or it can be a sales place. So all you can look at all the functions of company and you'll find some use case where RPA can be used. It can be maybe a small with the 5, 6 steps, or it can be with 100 steps involved with the multiple systems. So just for our get exposure, let us look at few of the use cases. RPA use cases with data, and data is there everywhere. So maybe you need data entry, input from multiple systems, or data validations between multiple systems. OCR, right? Optical character recognition. You get a paper copy and you scan it, but at present there is a person validating what is the paper information, what's the system information. If we use these RPAs, that character recognition, extracting the information and validating with some other application can happen with RPA. And data manipulation, calculating, formatting, or data exchange between applications. So these are some of the use cases, just categorizing or looking from a data perspective. Another one can be, which we spoke, let's say invoice processing. What happens in generally? You get vendors invoice the company saying that, hey, we need to get payment. So how do they send the invoices? They send in a PDF format, or they may even fax even today. They may fax the invoice, or they may send them in a mail, paper copy. So when you get invoice today, some person opens the invoice PDF and then looks at the numbers and go to an ERP system and looks at what did we buy from this vendor and how much we bought it for, what was the amount in the purchase order, and what is the amount in the invoice. And then they have to validate, did we get the promised goods or services? So you're looking at the purchase order amount, and you're looking at the services goods we received, and then you're looking at the amount vendor is invoicing. By looking at all those three, okay, then you validate, and then this person may send this to accounts payable department to issue a check to the vendor. But what all this, many of the tasks in this process can be automated. The bots can import all the invoices, captures the data, extracts the information, and it can even validate against to the purchase order or the goods received. And then it can even issue a notification to accounts payable or even to a bank to deliver a check to the vendor. So this invoice processing is a pretty commonly used use case in the RPA, and used as seen as an example in many places. Insurance claims with RPA. So extracts first notice of loss from email, digitize claims from using IQ bot, and generate fraud score. So this flow of once you receive the claim, seeing is it fraud? How does one can identify the fraud? If it is a human, they have to rely on their experience based on the past fraud cases and see if there are any similarities. With automation, the same thing can be done too. So with the prior historical knowledge can be captured and look at the parameters and see is it seems to be a fraud. If no, okay, then let's go to the claims team to review it. If it seems to be fraud, then escalate to someone and do a special investigation, and then they can do the client report analysis and then go for clients claims review team. So by just eliminating the main factor, is it a fraud potential or not, you're saving a lot amount of human hours to process thousands of claims in a day. So there is a good use case in the insurance industry. And even RPA use cases in finance and accounting. We just spoke about accounts payable. What about accounts receivable and cost allocation and reporting? They can be used there also. Order to cash process. There are a lot of steps involved: receiving a customer order, updating order in the ERP system, order verification, then order shipment, and then invoicing, receiving payments. So all these steps, I'm not saying everything can be automated, but these can be grouped certain way, chunking them and automate and have the humans at certain kind of levels so they can be involved to ensure the process is executing properly. RPA use cases for human resource process automation. So if you look at human resources, I think HR is the function every company has because you need to hire people and you need to train and develop them and compensate them, give the benefits to them, and develop them, right? So and there are processes for everything. And you can see there is a heat map on this. What kind of processes can be automated? High probability or high amount of tasks, right? If you're sending an offer letter, or you want to send an offer letter, and if you don't get a response back, you want to send a reminder. So this can be automated. So that is in the HR. So similarly, there are use cases in healthcare industry, finance industry, manufacturing industry, um, you just Google for use cases, you'll find so many things. But the intention here I'm trying to give is the invoice, the single processes to the enterprise function level and the enterprise level, even industry level. There are use cases which can be get which can get benefit with automation.